Good evening, everyone. I was asked to do a little tutorial on putting the Fantasie-Impromptu together slowly to show how the hands work together. So first I'll go through the slow movement, and then I'll go through the part of the difficult part, the part that's really well, it's all difficult, but anyway, I'll give it a try. So if I'm playing the moderato cantabile part slowly, I've got to know that it's in 4/4 time and that each quarter is a triplet. So, and then I got to keep the left hand under. I've got to make the right hand sing, but it's sotto voce, so it's in a subdued way, and keep it gentle to begin with. So, and it's come from this huge stuff that's got. Nice singing tone there, so I've got to flop through, right through to the floor, and play down, depress the key part way as I flop right through, and then when I feel the balance of my weight in the key, if I imagine that the wrist is like a shock absorber, the way a shock absorber works is there's a little diaphragm or area with tiny little wee holes in it, so that the fluid has a hard time going through that. So when this goes like this to go, it gets stopped, but not quite. So a little bit gets through, so it slows it right down. So when you feel that movement in the wrist, if you think of all these little wee holes in it, your finger is taking the weight, and it's coming up, you're rising up. But when you think of those little holes in there and the fluid, it's like if you have a water bottle, and the top is plastic, and somebody puts little wee holes in the top of it, tiny little wee holes. When it squishes, the sides of the plastic go out like that, and it crunches down, but a little bit of the fluid gets through those little wee holes, so it slows it down. So that's the way you need to sink into the key to balance on the key. So if you can think of, and we'll do that. You want the key to go down gently, for it to be sotto voce. I've even got the soft pedal down there. And I think of the count. So 1, 2, 3, and that's hard because I just do a little mordant on it. It says trill, but you don't have time to, but you don't want, but lightly, so 1, 2, 3, and that's not difficult. If you forget about the mordant and you go not difficult, it's 2 sets of 2 against 3, or nice cup of tea, so nice cup of tea, but then don't clunk those, so it's nice cup of tea, nice cup of tea. And then the other thing is you want the line to move forward. So you want, it's not just da 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 da, it's ya da 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 dee, all the way to that accent and that one, because the crescendo is underneath there, passing through the half note. So you could have 1, 2, 3, 4. I just need that line to be vocal the way you'd sing it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that, think of 0, 33 1/3, 66 2/3, 100%. But this, think 75%, because it's a dotted eighth, which is 3/16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, against 1. So it's going to come at, this F comes at 66 2/3. That's 66 2/3 of the way through, but this comes at 75. So the time from 75 over to 100 is much greater than it is from this to this. So So that's the way you got to feel that. So we'll try it again now. And that is so free, it's just floating. Those more melodic yada da da. So and that's tricky because it's 6 against 7 and the first note is tied. So this is held 1. Take a run at it. Pianissimo, so go for the real flesh of the finger and just sink into it. And then the shock absorber, the water bottle gets squished and the water comes through so slowly, so the key goes down gently. That's what you're after there when you come into that. So see, it says pianissimo, so melt the finger. But go down with the back of your upper arm. Even your body can be part of that water bottle that's plastic that gets scrunched and the water seeps through, even in your back, so that your whole body's coming through then. Yeah. Just drop and draw, but take that over that. So those are longer wires, so they're going to drown it out if you're not careful. You've got to be very quiet in the left. I didn't hear that note, so of a retard on those 30-second notes. See, the piece has a form to it, and you get the subject coming, and then a little episode, and the subject again, and an episode. It plays around. It comes in 4 times, that subject, and there's a little part where it's completely different that it comes in too. So it's got these little sections, and you have to use your imagination and create a poetic form to it that allows it to be expressive throughout, not just a repetition of the same melody each time. Like you might do it pianissimo, then you might do it a little bit mezzo piano, and maybe even up to piano, back to piano, and then drop back down to to pianissimo again, whatever. But use your imagination to tell your own story with it. But sforzando, it's a heavy drop on the melody note. Listen to Rubinstein play it, he plays around with the time quite a bit in there. That's too heavy. And I want those clear. And a ritardando. And it's off to the races again. So now I'll start the way the piece begins. It's got this huge, and that's got to be your whole body crashing into it. And the time for that part, it's in. You got to feel da 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 da. You got to feel that division. I'm just going to show you the score at that spot because it's the unique time. I don't know if you can see it there or not because of the lighting, but there it is there. So it's 4/4 time, and so, but some books put it as cut time. And if you think of two, not 4/4, but 2 halves per bar, then it's an easier way to think of it because then you've got 2 beats per bar, so 1, but a triplet on each. So da 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 da, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, so that you feel triplet da 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 da, 1 and 2 and 1, 2 and 1. Now, if you think of it in 4/4 time, the triplets are in the left, but there's 4/16 in the right. So for each quarter of the bar. So you've got to have 1, 2, 3, 4 against, and pretend that's repeated. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the left is. And you've got to be able to feel the direction of the hand. Just da 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 is one little unit, da 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 vertically over that black key. And then da 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 going that way. Da, 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 da. Now repeating da 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 da, and then da da going that way. So when you get that motion in freedom in the wrist, it helps a lot. But if you can think of 4 against 3 as come Tommy jump to me, and a teacher I studied with, Josh Wright, told me that. Come Tommy jump to me. Now the next one. Come Tommy jump to me. Come, Tommy, 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 jump to me. It gives you the right sequence, left, right, but it's come, Tommy. It's not come, Tommy. It's come, Tommy, jump to me. Come, Tommy, jump to me. That kind of thing. Then you're going to get the right position and time for each note. So top. Come, Tommy, jump to me. Come, Tommy, jump to me. Each is a separate. There before there were either 2 or 4 sets in the whole bar, but here there's like a bar. That's one phrase. If you can think of the wind taking leaves and swirling them, it'll give you the energy of that forward drive. And a spread at the end, da 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 da. So it's not you, it's da 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 da. And you've got a crescendo up. That's the big point of the phrase. Then it gets quieter. And da 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 da. two separate units there. That's where it changes and the A's become black, so A sharp. Now together. So that's the way it starts like that. Now I'll just get another page here and show you. Now the thumb has the accent here. So that's a little tune right there. Now, some editions, they say it wasn't Chopin put this, it was an editor, but see 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, but it's pretty like that because it brings out, but off the beat. It changes on the second time it repeats that it gets back to just on the beat. So I'll just do that once more, that part there. Come Tommy, jump to me, come Tommy, jump to me. Come Tommy, jump to me, come Tommy, jump to me, come Tommy, jump to me, come so. Then there's no accent, so it's come, Tommy, jump to me, come, Tommy, jump to me. And it's to stay down in the key so that you can walk the way along, crawl it along. So. Got to be clear. Come, Tommy, jump to me. Come, Tommy, jump to me. Like that. It's so difficult, that piece. And then it goes. And then it. I don't know it anymore. It's very simple, that part. That it looks harder than it is. It's very simple, that. Then it goes to approaching the slow part. It changes. It's completely different. It's called largo. So, and pesante, that's heavily. So it still builds up. It doesn't start loud. It gets louder. So, but then it gets poco diminuendo for the whole second bar. To sotto voce. And then it goes on to the middle section. And after the middle section, it returns to the wild stuff again. And that's all straight repeat. But then it goes in like a ground bass, and you hear like you get this stuff. Oh yeah. That's hard. Make that sing, and yet it's pianissimo, but il canto un poco marcato, so well, a little bit marked, but more and more tranquil in the right. Just fudging it here just to show you. I just printed this out tonight, so I've never even seen this score, but that's hard because you got to be able to freely turn your thumb over to the F sharp, after the E double, the E sharp.